Welcome to the great event here for AK, PR, and Marketing Women on the Move networking event. Are you ladies having a good time so far? Yeah? You networking, making some connects? All right, okay. Well, thank you all for coming out. This is a great event for women, and I was honored to be asked to come down and be surrounded by a bunch of brilliant, beautiful, and business-minded women like yourself. So let's give a round of applause for Miss Adrienne Brown. How are you?
Thank you, Jason. Hi everyone. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves and making some good connections out there. Just to tell you a little bit about my company, I started event planning about 10 years ago, doing launch parties, anniversary parties, fashion shows, and corporate events. And just recently, probably about 3 years ago, I added in PR and marketing. So I've always worked full-time, doing my passion on the side, and never really had a chance to really get focused. But about a week and a half ago, I resigned from my full-time position, and I'm now doing my position full-time. So with today's event, what I wanted to do was get together like-minded women that have the same goals. So we want to all reach our goals, we want to empower each other, we want to help build each other's business and work together. I feel like sometimes women don't work together as much as they should. So hopefully events like this will bring us all together to see how we can help each other. So we have an amazing guest speaker, Shantae Bacon, that will be here. I'm so happy to have her here. She is wonderful and has a fantastic company, the 135th Street Agency. And she and Jason will sit here and have a conversation, which you'll all learn from. So get your pen and paper ready, because you're going to take some really good notes this evening and enjoy.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in PR.
My name is Shantae Bacon, CS. I was married 2 years ago, that has been quite an experience. I'm enjoying it, but I'm from Jamaica, Queens. I went to Hampton University. I went to Hampton University and I majored in marketing. I worked at Def Jam Records. I was a college rep while I was at Hampton, and so that's 2 years when in my junior and senior year, and then 6 years after that. Here when Def Jam was at 160 Varick Street, and then when it was at 825 8th Avenue, I was in the sales department first, and then moved into the marketing department, and then moved back into the sales department, and then moved back into the marketing department. It was really weird, but over the 8 years that I was there, I was promoted about 5 times. In my final year, I was Kanye West product manager, so I managed the marketing for the College Dropout, for Ludacris's album Chicken and Beer. Then 135th came up as a side hustle. Okay. So when I was in the marketing department and I had marketing projects, I knew that I had this entrepreneurial drive because I came from a long line of entrepreneurs. So my grandmother, who passed in 2004, before I was born, she had a candy shop in Brooklyn in the 60s and 70s. And then when I came along, my mom had a business trade school. Anybody remember Drake Business School? Some of those schools that would teach how do they, word processing, that's what they used to call typing, and medical office assistant. She ran it out of our basement. I love music and I knew I was good at marketing, and so that led to kind of like the marriage. I was taking some projects for 135th on the side, and then this guy named Kanye came along and there was no time for any side projects. I had to put it completely on hold. And I promised myself that when we finally got the College Dropout out, and it came out on February 10th, 2004, that I was gonna bring my business back into my focus. I knew that there was something bigger for me out there to do. And I knew I wanted to have my own company, and I knew I wanted Black women to be a part of it some kind of way. 135th is an experiential marketing and strategic communications firm. So we have an office here in New York. We have an office in Atlanta. We actually work out of Jermaine Dupree's office, his studio, West End Studios in Atlanta. There are 10 people on our team that work on across the board on all projects, and then we have 10 field staff members. So those are people in Philly, in DC, in Chicago, Houston, Detroit, LA. So those are places where we have field staff that we use whenever we have to launch a tour, go into a market, go into a church, do things like that. We have been in business 11 years. Our client roster includes Oprah Winfrey Network, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers Pictures, Focus Features. Let me see, we do periodic projects with BET, some for the marketing department, some for the PR department. Every time we work on a project for BET, we make sure that we win an award or get some coverage on the project to influence them to want to hire us again. We also have the mayor of the city of Newark working on his Power and Politics event for Black Music Month. We also have, I'm forgetting some people, we have the Odyssey Conference, we have the BESLA organization, which is Black attorneys in sports and law. Sorry, Black attorneys in entertainment and sports law association, that's it. So it's all of the top ranking African American attorneys that represent sports, entities, athletes, or entertainers. And when I first, we've had them for 3 years now. When I first went to the meeting, I was amazed. It's hundreds of brilliant African American attorneys. Some that work at NBC Universal, at Viacom, at Madison Square Garden, for the New York Knicks, for everybody you can possibly think of. They're Microsoft. There are attorneys all over the place. And we also have Google. So that's our most recent win. We participated in a bid for the business in March, and we beat 4 other agencies to get that business. And so, you know, thank you. That was another moment where I feel like it was divine intervention, because there was so many times where when you participate in a bid, you don't usually get the business. You usually get the business when it is a person who says, I know them, I'm giving them a shot. Because when you go up against 4 or 5 other agencies, there's always somebody who has a person at the table who's like, I know them, give them the shot. And if it's not you, you're not going to get the business.
How do you motivate yourself and stay motivated, and how would you suggest others do the same?
So when it comes to motivation, I don't know where my motivation comes from. It's like a burning desire that I've always had since I was a kid. One of the people who inspire me the most is Beyonce. And I know that's so cliche, but I don't know a soul on earth who works that hard. I personally don't know anyone on earth who would, you know, not go to Popeyes every day like they really want to, dance in high heels for 8 to 12 hours a day, who will do the, you know, philanthropist, mom, daughter, wife, you know, business owner, dancer, singer, actress, all of that, and it's a lot of work. And I always think to myself, I'm just not working hard enough. Or I think to myself, I cannot complain about working hard, because there's always more work that can be done. And she's having such a good time doing it that you're like, no one has to say, come on, B, let's get out the bed today. She's probably leaping out the bed. Like, oh, I gotta go dance for 4 hours today. Like, you know what I mean? It's just what you want to do.
Can you recommend any organizations and websites and books for business owners?
I can. So I love books, audio books actually. So 2 of my favorite books is The Power of Nice by Linda Kaplan-Thaler and Robin Koval. And it's just a really quick read for anybody out there who's super passionate like I am, right? And you're pitching something. That whole competitive spirit can eat you up sometimes. And then you start imagining that you have a problem with people you don't have a problem with. And so you have to be like, wait a second, what? I mean, I'm going after the same money or the same, you know, the same client, but that doesn't mean you and I have a problem, right? So reading The Power of Nice teaches you how to compete, but also be just as nice, as sweet as you could be, because you don't gain anything from being like, ah, and you know, tearing their head off. You don't win that way. Nobody does. And not only that, the energy and the karma that you're creating with that, it's not good. Because life is so cyclical. You might be on top today, you're not tomorrow. You might not need anybody right now, but you're gonna need somebody at some point. They also have another book that I think is excellent, and I just recommended it to my entire staff. It's called Grit, Grit, to Great. And these are all quick reads, 150 pages. Like, you can read them in 2 days, 3 days. So Grit to Great is so amazing because what it talks about is how Americans went from being gritty back in the day when we had to fight for our rights and our place in the world, that this country was built off of people with grit. And let me see if Jim Collins, Good to Great and Built to Last. So if before you even start your business, read Built to Last. It's a must. It talks about how some companies last the test of time while others fail immediately. And they talk about 150-year-old companies like General Electric, like JP Morgan Chase, like Boeing. Like, what did they do different from the competitor that they were facing 100 years ago? Why are they still in business? What did they stand for? Like Nike. I mean, they really break down how the company philosophy and how you start the business is going to influence the future of that brand. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, which are the 4 pages I do. Oh, and I have Periscope. See, I didn't forget that. So they're all the same. It's at Shante, S-H-A-N-T-E, last name Bacon, B-A-C-O-N.